What is going on, geeks? UniteTheClans here, back in your life with another Ark building tutorial. This is the place to come to harness your creativity and to do some building. So join me today. We're going to take on an A-frame cabin, but not a normal one. It's got 3 unique peaks to the roof, a ton of cool materials, and at the end we will use some of the landscaping and decor mods to decorate it up and slap a coat of paint on this baby. Alright geeks, if you find yourself enjoying today's step-by-step vanilla building tutorial, click the like button and let's dive right into this. What's going on, geeks? Welcome back to another Ark building tutorial. This is the build you saw in the introduction. It is an A-frame house. We build it with Adobe roofs, wood with greenhouse glass, Adobe Pillars. This is the place, this is it as it stands currently. It's a work in progress, but I did want to show you today, even though we're building this version, this wood and Adobe version, and by the way, I guess I'm not done. There's going to end up being a gate on the back of this. I didn't realize I didn't finish it. These are the test builds I usually do before we start, guys. We're here in the Canyonlands at 37.6, 45.9. Stunning backdrop of waterfalls. While we're going to build this one today, I wanted to show you an alternate version, and a version that would work in the desert using very similar materials. If you come on over here, I have built this version with Adobe foundations instead of wood, Adobe walls instead of wood walls. You can see inside out on the first of the triangles, regular way on the back one, same as we got over here. I guess these are slightly different versions, one built to the left, one built to the right. Either way, this is how we ended up building them. I'm pretty happy with it, and I wanted to show you this, the desert Adobe version, in case you're building this out in the new deserts of Ragnarok. Today, guys, we are going to take these apart, we're going to dive into construction, and we're going to work on this version together, but you guys can see how to do the other version. So give me a sec, I'm going to clear this massive plateau off, and we are going to get started on our build today. And welcome, geeks. We are going to get started on today's build. I'm always trying to choose a fantastic backdrop for my build, so the thumbnail looks great. Here in the Canyonlands, it is not hard to choose. We are at 37.7, 45.5, and we're going to be getting started on an A-frame cabin design. I think I'm going to choose that particular waterfall as my backdrop, and we're going to start, guys, with a couple of stone foundations. Now, these will be removed later, so just be prepared for that. And those are going to be the middle of a 2x8. So if we go out 3 from this side, 3 from this side, and then we'll build a whole row of wooden foundations along the front. And welcome back, guys, to another Ark building tutorial. This, like the last, will be step by step. I will show you as much of it as I can, and we will build it together. So once you've done that, guys, take these middle 4 foundations, and you are going to build a 4x4. So we'll bring this out 4 rows of 4 wooden foundations, and I will show you the next step. Now, I'm just getting myself back to this. I had a comment recently saying, please take more time to look at what you're building and don't move the camera around so much. I know I can be frenetic. I understand, guys. So that is your beginning foundation. Now, it's up to you. You can choose to put an additional 4 sort of right here on this side, or on this side. It will change very little about the build. I'm going to match it to what we did on the Adobe version, and that is going to look like that. So that is your current foundation. We've completed the first step. Grab a couple fence foundations, and we shall continue. So with the fence foundations, guys, we are going to be adding, and I should point this out, I built this very close to a cliff edge. We'll have the opportunity to put a dino gate on the back of this house. Now, the house will not be tall enough to actually suit a dino gate, so instead of putting the fence foundation for it right there, we're actually going to put it down in front of the foundation. Now, you can only do this with, well, I know you can't do it with wood, so there is no snap point I can find on the ground. With stone, there is, so let's cycle the snap points, and that is what we found. So I'm going to go ahead and try and put in a second one. All right, guys, now we are going to go in and actually remove these 2 stone foundations, and before you replace them with wood, you're going to grab an Adobe Dino Gate. And now that we have these fence foundations here, it'll have no problem snapping to those. You can see it's going to sit distinctly lower than it would have if we'd snapped it on the foundations. And then with that done, you can go ahead and re-add your foundations, and we now have this for our shape. Time to move on. We're going to need some more fence foundations. So I left the Adobe version of the house up, guys, just so we could have it as a reference point. If you look back, we're going to have pillars down the middle of the house, and then off to whichever side we added the 4 extra foundations. So we're going to need to give ourselves fence foundations in order to snap those pillars. In vanilla, you cannot just snap a pillar to the corner of a foundation. It'll only go to the middle. So if we look at what we've done, we hadn't planned necessarily to put anything on the front, but let's just say we wanted to. We'll go ahead and put one there. That would give us the opportunity to snap a pillar right here, and we'll go here as well. Now, if we follow this particular line all the way back, guys, we will be giving ourselves this central one, and we'll be giving ourselves a snap point right here, which is what we'll need. It'll be off to the side with the 4 extra foundations on it. So I'm going to, even though I know I don't need all of these, I'm going to just go ahead and drop fence foundations in at each interval along here, and that should give me the opportunity to add in pillars as I need them. All right, geese, let us begin with some walls. Now, we're going to go ahead and start right here because this is the spot we didn't put the fence foundation. If you have the fence foundation, you might notice some extra snap points, so just keep that in mind. And we're going to start like that and build a little arch on the front. Now, this little room is going to be more of just a front room, a sun room, nothing too fancy. Obviously, everything is going to get the Adobe sloped roofs. We're going to do something a little bit unique where on this back section of the house, and we can come down here and place a wall and a sloped wall like so, and another on top. We can do that. On this side, we're actually going to keep things, we're going to do it inside out to give us a little variation in texture. So these two ceilings, they can be thatch, and what you're going to want to do is come to the inside and look out towards those when you're placing your wall, and you will get this texture on the outside. Same will be the case with this. And once you've done that, building anything on top is going to go the same way as the wall underneath. So we can now remove these. And because we already have foundations in here, we do not need to do anything extra there. We do not need to sort of do any additional work. We can just look at this foundation and this will snap to it. We'll build up like this and put this on top. And then in this last spot, we are going to do, assuming I can find them on my hotbar, we're going to do a door frame and another wall and a slope down. Now, if we step back and take a look, obviously the roofs aren't on, but you can see that that one point should line up perfectly with this one. And we are building a shape where that slope will line up perfectly with this slope, and they will come to meet each other down here. Because of that, because we, excuse me, frenetic camera movement, because of this, we do not need to continue putting walls across here. And this is actually one of the spots we're going to put a pillar to hide that sort of jagged log cabin type edge. Now over here, we will have to continue our placement, and we're going to do the same thing with a door frame. We're going to put a wall on top and a slope on top of that. And now this one is 8 wide, so it would realistically be building up. Having trouble finding all my building pieces on the old hotbar. It would realistically build up one more, so like so. And then over here, we would have to do it one more time. So let's do one more door frame, pardon me. And you see the fence foundation there giving me alternate options. And then on top of that, we will build a a wall like so. I am having trouble explaining what I'm doing today, guys, but that is it. So build 5 walls in with that same 8 wide peak back here. And we're obviously going to be doing the same on the very back of the place. And you can see all the peaks are going to line up with one another like so. And all the slopes, like we see over there, will be smooth. So let's go to the back of the house and let's do some work there. And we are going to be building up, actually, guys, until we get the roof on, we're going to be building up right in the middle. Now, these walls, these 6 that I'm placing right here, if you choose to, you can make those all thatch. They will be coming out later. But what I need you to do, is just sort of build along with me here and put in all the slopes until we have a point on the top of our arch, like so, and we have come all the way down the back side. Now, we're getting very close. This build goes quickly. Let's grab some pillars. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back, guys. All right, geeks. So, shall we begin One thing I realized we have left out is a door, a sort of foot entrance. Now you could do that in one of two places. You could do it right here, where we're going to have a wall, but you would need that ceiling, obviously, right there to do it. Or you could do it right over here, and I think that's where I'm going to squeeze it in, like so. We're actually going to come back and add window frames in here once we know what's going to look good, and we're going to take pillars. So the pillars should have snap points in a bunch of locations. You are going to want to basically come up to the peak of this first inside out wall and then cover up the end of it, like so. We're going to head through this door, and you will be doing the same thing here. So we're going to build up until you get to the end of it and then up into the peak, like so. And if we back up, that is how things are going to look, like so. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves some slopes, slope roofs. We're going to be using Adobe, and we're going to slap a roof on this place and see how it's looking with that done. See what I might have forgotten, see what might still need to be done. So I will do this with you step by step as we have done everything so far. Alright guys, so that is how that's coming along. Once you get up here, obviously build like that, but then once we get to this part, we're going to slope back down. So do not carry this slope up like that, bring it down like so. We're going to bring it down all the way across until we reach here, which means I did do wrong. You definitely can't have a door there, that will look weird. Let's get a wall in place. Like so. Sorry about that, guys. There will be some wasted materials. When I used to do tutorials, I would make sure I knew the build inside and out before we started. Now I'm a little more casual, and I just want to build along with you guys. I'm a little less worried about getting it perfect. I just want to share my creativity, my ideas with you, and hopefully we can do something great together. So there you go, guys. That is your roof. That is how the place is looking. I'm pretty happy with that, and I imagine you would be too. As buildings go, it's got a very interesting look. We have glass, we have inside-out wood, we have this regular wood, and we have pillars. Now, I think it's not going to be a bad idea to do this. We have a total mix of wood and Adobe throughout this build. Obviously, wood in the walls and in the foundations, Adobe in the pillars and in the roofs, Adobe actually in the big Dino gate. So what we're going to do to complement that is a wooden Dino gate, like so. And actually, you know what? I am kind of insistent, guys. I would like to get the other side of those doors if I could. Geez Louise. So one thing that's interesting, guys, these two pieces up here, they are now supported, I think. So we should be able to come in here and go, see ya and see ya, without losing those. Those are either supported by the slope roof above, by this thing, I don't know what, but they are in there, which means we no longer need this. And that build actually looks pretty good. So I'm a stickler because if you come to the inside, you will see that texture more closely matches. Whoops, excuse me. That texture more closely matches this one, and this texture here on the doors more closely matches this. So I'm going to see about flipping this inside out. Should be very simple. Hopefully I don't have to undo anything. Be back in your life in a second here. So this part, I was a little worried. It was doing this to me beforehand, guys. That's why we placed the gate, and then we replaced those two wooden foundations. So I'm going to take the risk of breaking those. I don't think I'll lose anything. Everything should still be supported. I'll get that snap point back, and then I'm just going to flip it, like so, and we'll try a wooden gate before we replace our foundations. And that's it, guys. So that's the look I was going for. You can see how perfectly it matches in with this. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and wheel you in. If you didn't want to, guys, you could replace those two foundations with ramps, but floor space in this build comes at a premium, so I don't want to cost you any square footage. Let's go ahead and put these back, and we're actually going to add ramps right here. And my boy Hunt, one of my Patreon supporters, Sam, was giving me a little breakdown. Last episode, we were talking about getting a last tutorial, we were talking about getting a sloped roof to act as a ramp. It's actually the ramps that can provide support. So this is interesting to note. If you're going to go ahead and include a couple ramps, like so, you should then be able to put your wooden ceilings like so, like we were doing in the last one. Underneath there, you ought to be able to snap your Adobe roof, if you find the right snap point, like so. And now we can have an Adobe roof serve as our ramp, which I really like the look of. and one like that, and we will remove this. And there you go, guys. That is your back entrance. If you close the doors, cha-ching, all Adobe, all wood. This is how the place looks on the outside, and you guys should have been able to follow along up till this point. You more or less have a finished build. What we're going to be doing now is adding in some details. Alright guys, so this build is somewhat plain looking as it stands now. I want to give us some more options for looks. I like this row of windows, 1, 2, 3, and of course this could be a window if you didn't want your door there. And then same thing here. Obviously they'll be inside out, but I like that, and I like, ooh, that is not the same. So let's make sure you get the right snap point. Let's go ahead and make life easy. And look at my feet, and there you go. So there you go. That was a little diagonal window going up. Same thing continues down from here. I didn't include a window anywhere like this, where it would be partially obstructed by the sloped roof. Same with that spot. So I chose not to do that. Let's go ahead and get some windows and doors on this place. I think what I'm going to do is Adobe Windows, and I'm going to try the Adobe Door and see how that looks. So the Adobe windows are good, guys. They don't always fit quite right in wood. Actually, they don't fit quite right at all. But they definitely capture the look of the Adobe and help us sort of merge these. I don't know if you'll like that. That might be too weird, having that little gap there. We'll see. I think I could live with that. I don't know if you could. We will see. I guess it depends how much light escapes. But let's go ahead and do this. We'll continue our combination of wood and Adobe. Maybe try a door right there. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all, guys. I kind of like how that looks. I know a paint job would obviously make a difference in this place. Let's head to the back, and we will enter via our gate. All right, and let us enter this back door, guys. We'll take a look at the interior space. You have some options now if you want to take advantage of them. These two door frames can be removed, as can that wall right up there. And over here, you could remove this door frame. But that's about it. I don't think you could remove anything else. So with that in mind, I have left all these walls on the interior, and they could form for you, if you chose, they could form for you a way to separate things off. So you could wall things off like so, and we'll see how that looks. If you come through here, yeah, that creates a little space, and you could do the same. Obviously, you could continue to separate that space off like so. You could add in a subdivision right here. You can add in subdivision right here. You can basically create a bunch of little rooms with the two walls we have running horizontally across the place, or sort of left to right. You can create some some front to back type walls as well, and sort of section and cordon this place off. As it stands now, guys, this is mostly done. I have one more highlight I would like to show you. And by highlight, I mean skylight. Got a little space right here. Let's do that. I don't like having these go all the way to the wall, or having them come all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top. So I am only taking advantage of the spots where they are not being intersected by anything else, which is pretty much everywhere. So it means we could squeeze one in right there. Whoa. Okay. So we get some weird snap points here, guys. But it means you could squeeze a couple of these little skylights in without offending anyone. It really depends on you where you'd like to put them. You have a lot of space here if you want to use it. Let's take a look at this from the inside and see what we think. See how that light helps things. All right, now a little bit of light. I like that. That seems to connect this space here with this space here. And same with that. I feel like those are perfectly placed. I feel good about this, guys. I am going to slap together a little interior on this place. I'm going to grab some mods and maybe do a little landscaping and decoration. But as it stands now, guys, this house is completely done. Together, we have done it step by step. A vanilla building tutorial, no mods, and we've done it here on one of the Geeks Patreon servers. For those that don't know, Patreon is a way you can support your favorite creators. I have a bunch of people that already support me, and a lot of them come and play on the servers that Arali the Geek and I have created, one of which is this one. So right now, I'm the only person on here. I would love to see it slowly get populated with creative builders like me. As it stands now, guys, I'm a step away. I'm going to slap some stuff on the interior. I'm going to decorate the outside, and we will take a look at the final product together. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Ark building tutorial. At the end of the process, you should have your very own 3-peaked A-frame cabin in wood, in Adobe, and in greenhouse glass. I hope you like it. If you have the mods I have on this Amazing Geeks Patreon creative building server, you can decorate the outside to look like this and the inside to look like this, and anybody can slap this ridiculous bright paint scheme on the place. I really hope you enjoyed, geeks. Thank you so much for hanging out today. If you are brand new, I'm UniteTheClans. This is the channel you come to learn to be a better builder. Click on my face to subscribe, and click under this playlist to learn how to build better. If you've been around for a while, here's a link to my Patreon page and a link to one of my most recent videos. Thank you for watching, geeks. I'm UniteTheClans, and I will see you in the next Ark building tutorial.